Hello, my beautiful bloomers. Today I wanted to do a special episode on this lockdown we're going through right now. I know it's a really hard time for a lot of people. I I personally have only just started to struggle with the feelings of loneliness and the stress of not being able to do things as I normally would. So I thought now would probably be a good time to share with you the things that may help you to get through this really hard time. My heart goes out to everybody during this pandemic. I'm alone, so I really feel for everybody else who has to go through this by themselves, as well as the people that actually are living with people, because either way, this sucks. I'm sure there's people that you're living with that are, becoming annoying, or you're struggling to just breathe because people are just all up in your face all the time, especially if you've got kids. Like, I know that it can be really fun to spend, and an amazing thing to spend time with your family or your partners, but I'm also very aware that as human beings sometimes we need space to breathe. So I've written up some tips to surviving the lockdown, which I would like to share with everyone today. So number one, have a routine. I know for me particularly, if I don't have some form of routine, then I don't know what to do with myself. I get quite overwhelmed and stressed, and I very often lose a lot of motivation to do anything. So keeping as much of a routine as you can, like preferably one of a similar one to what you used to have before this all happened, is a really important thing for a lot of people. It can be as simple as waking up and going to bed at the same time every day, or having set meals, like set times for set meals, or simply keeping to like a ritual, so you do one certain thing every day. I think the reason why I've managed to be okay so far is because I have a routine. I didn't to start with, and I just kind of sensed that things were not going to be okay if I did not sort this out. So I have a routine and it works really well. So step two, keep regular contact. So I know it's hard to stay connected to people during this time, but I think it's really important to, even if you just have one person, that you regularly check in with, or, you have an opportunity to talk to somebody or a group of people. So for me, I have two mini groups of friends that I've been talking to pretty much every day. And I have the freedom to, there's no obligation for me to talk to them, but the option is there if I want to. And it helps because, there's nothing worse than having nobody to share about your day, or share your observations with, or, just to be there for each other. So yeah, I really recommend that. Like, I haven't really had much in the way of phone calls or video calls, but every now and then I have, just to kind of keep a little bit of normality going. Number three, definitely have something to look forward to. in one of my friends of like groups of friends, we have a movie night once a week, and it helps me stay focused, I suppose, on some kind of routine. It flies into number one because I have that to look forward to every week. Sometimes I will sign up to myself up to events or webinars, just so that I know that there's something coming that I know that I'm going to enjoy, because it's all very well being spontaneous, but you know, you need to carry on thinking as though there's a future, because especially in times like these, it can be really hard to, you know, forget that there's any good that's going to come out of this. Your life has completely changed, like mine has. I go out all the time and now I can't, and that's hard, but having, you know, little things that I can do, you know, with people, even though they're not here, like at least we're doing something together, like that's a nice thing, that's a good thing. Number 4, set yourself realistic goals. So as humans, we need things to achieve to keep our motivation going, you know, as a kind of a purpose for us to be here. And especially right now, that's something, you know, I think is really important to give yourself things to do, to achieve, so that you can still feel some good and some purpose in your life. I choose like one thing every day, for me to accomplish in the day. Sometimes I might do more, but in my brain, like as a former perfectionist, I allow myself the knowledge that it's okay for me to just do one thing, because one thing is better than nothing. So yeah, that's something important, and I've given myself a task over this pandemic to study. It's something that I've been putting off for a long time. So yeah. Number 5. So this applies probably mostly for the people that aren't in solitude, and it is to give yourself space. As I said, we need space, we need time to ourselves, just to think, to reflect, you know, so we can breathe, because it's a lot of pressure. It can be a lot of pressure to be around people all the time. So it's really important that we make time for ourselves still. A simple little way that I learned about this yesterday from a webinar I watched, that you can do that, is just to simply put headphones in. You know, make the people around you aware that you're in your zone. So you're putting headphones in, so you won't be able to respond. It's probably a good idea as well for somebody that has to work from home, because I can imagine that's very difficult to do, especially if you've got like kids around you all the time. If you have a partner that can deal with the children while you're doing that, then definitely, you know, either lock yourself in a room, or if you can't do that, put some headphones in. Or, you know, the bathroom is like, I love the bathroom for this reason. Like, it's the perfect place to just give yourself some time to take a breath. Like when I'm at work, and I'm feeling stressed from, you know, kids' behaviour, or, you know, just from day-to-day life, I will take myself to the bathroom just so that I can, you know, breathe, and ground myself. So a bathroom is great for that. If you're like me and you're by yourself, then even though you're not around people, I do still think it's important to take some space for yourself, just to self-reflect. And you know, I recommend to meditate. It does a lot. You can meditate for like 30 seconds, like it, or, you know, an hour, it really doesn't matter, but it just kind of takes some of that pressure away from the day, and the situation we're going through right now. Number 6, do something that you love. Like, this is a really important thing. Even if you spend like 10 minutes every day, I really recommend to do this every single day, just to keep, you know, some peace and joy in your life through all of this stuff that's going on. Pick something that you love to do and do it every day. Like, it can be something really simple as, like, you know, you love cookies, so eat a cookie. You know, I don't recommend doing that every day, obviously, but that's just an example. Like, or, you know, if you're like me, do something creative. Like, I've started drawing, and it really makes me feel peaceful. And yeah, just do something that you love every day. Like, you can spend some large amounts of time on it, or you can just spend 5 minutes, but just make sure that you fit that in every day. Like, you'll thank me later, trust me. Number 7, I don't like ever do this anyway, but I know that a lot of people that are struggling, the reason that they tend to struggle is because they're surrounding themselves with a lot of negativity. And this can come from, you know, being obsessively listening or watching the news. I know the news is important because it's important to know what's going on around the world and stuff, but it's not something that has good effects on our well-being if you do it too much. There's a lot of shit going right now, but it doesn't mean that we need to, like, we can acknowledge that, you know, and have empathy for, you know, the people that are dying or that are suffering, but it's not something that we should really be focusing on. We need to focus on things that lift us up. It's especially important right now, because the moment that we get sucked into all this negative energy is when we're going to lose our cool. And we need, you know, the most positivity that we can get right now. So, you know, if you have to listen to the news, then, you know, just stick to maybe in like once or twice a day just to keep up, or do what I do and just ask other people, like, is there anything I need to know? Like, I have the radio on, so it, you know, happens every now and then, but for the most part I ask other people because it's okay to ask for help from other people. So if there's any news that I need to know about, I will just check in with people, like, is there anything I've missed that I need to know? Can you update me? Because your friends are going to know you as well, and they're going to know what they can and can't say. So yeah, there's that one. Number 8, I think I'm on. Use your time wisely during this. One of the biggest things that's keeping me going, I think, is that I'm a really busy person. Like, I try not to be, but I have a tendency to, you know, at least once a month, 1 or 2 weeks of that month, I'm really busy, like, that I can't even breathe. It's something I'm working on. I'm getting better and better as the months go by, but it's something that I, you know, change is hard, so yeah. It's all very well, like, being productive, but being busy is just it's a different thing. Like, you can be productive by doing one thing at a time. Staying busy all the time and just distracting yourself from reality, like, it doesn't, in the long term, doesn't really do you any favours. So yeah, I don't recommend that you just, you know, write yourself along, like this is the goal thing again, I suppose, going back to it. Don't write yourself like a massively long list of things to achieve every single day, like to, just keep go. That's like the worst thing that you can do right now. Use this time to do things that you wouldn't normally do, or like if you have, you might have a when I get round to it list. Start ticking things off on that when I get round to it list. As I mentioned already, like I'm using this time to study. Like I've been putting it off for a long time. Like I could have been doing it, but I just didn't. Like I just had so many other things I was doing. And in order for me to get where I want to be in life, it's a really important thing that I need to do. So I've been kicking myself up the arse, and I've been doing it. And also like doing things that normally, that you love to do and you just don't do because you're busy. Like for me, I spend so much time doing stuff for other people, making communities, like, sharing resources and stuff, that I don't actually make a lot of time to do stuff for me. Like my time of doing stuff for me tends to just be like watching Netflix, like every now and like it really doesn't happen a lot. Now it's happening a lot more. I'm catching up on like some really good shows on Netflix. So, but yeah, I think this time is a really good time to just start doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do. Like maybe there's a skill that you've wanted to learn and you just haven't done it. Do that. Like do that now. Like, we have all the time in the world right now if you're not working still, but make the most of it. Like this probably is not going to happen again, so why not take something crappy and make something good out of it? Like there's a lot of good that can come out of this. Do it. Like, yeah, just do it. Number 9, I really want to reiterate that it's okay to feel sad and anxious or angry about what's going on right now. Like we can't, it's impossible to stay happy all the time. Like this is something to be sad and angry and anxious about. As I said, like I've been coping really well, but the last few days actually I felt like shit. Like I've been struggling. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've been struggling. I feel a lot better now, but yeah, for 2 days or a day and a half, I had to just let myself just be sad, and be annoyed. I want to be outside and I can't. It's really important for me to be outside in the air. It helps me so much mentally, and I'm not able to do that. Like, yeah, we can go outside to exercise, but I don't want to. Like, I want this to be over, so I'm doing everything I possibly can to stay in so that this doesn't spread, so life can go back to normal. But I really can't stress enough, like, it's okay. Like, we're allowed to be angry. Like, I give you permission to be angry and to be upset. Like, it's okay. Like, we're human. Like, we can't, especially now, like, this is definitely, one of the most validating reasons to feel any of these uncomfortable feelings. Like, let it out, but try not to stay there. And like, lastly, number 10, I just want you to remember that as lonely as you might feel, we are all in this together. There's a big sense of community that I'm noticing since this has happened. And even though I feel lonely because I don't have anybody here, like yesterday, all I wanted to do was hug somebody. Like, I miss physical contact a lot. I am one of those people that I hug everybody. Well, not everybody, but most people that I come across, I'm giving them a hug. So in that aspect, this has been really hard for me. And also, I used to have a cat. I don't have a cat anymore. So I could have got my physical, you know, need filled with that. But now all I have is I have this guy. This is my comfort blanket now. This humbug. I nearly got rid of him. I'm really glad I didn't, because most of yesterday I just sat and hugged him, because it is the closest thing I have to contact right now. But there are ways, like we're all, you know, it's okay to feel lonely, obviously, but I just want to remind everybody that you're not alone in this. Like, there are so many people that are feeling exactly the same things as you, and are experiencing, you know, a lot of the pain, the same pain, or maybe the same joy, as you are. Like, we're all in this together, and I just wanted to remind everybody of that, because I think a sense of community right now is like really important, and we do have that, which is surprising, because I wouldn't have expected that to happen in a scenario like this, but it has. So yeah, I think that's it for me. I really hope that this video has helped in some way or another. There may be things I'm forgetting, but that's what I've got, you know, my 10 best tips to surviving lockdown. Look after yourself, stay safe, and take care. Much love, everybody.